Don't come at all.
This is the Hartzog Hustle Podcast.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
And we're talking about the hustle, strategy, and mindset you need to win in the areas of your finance, your purpose, and your future.
Know what I'm saying?
If you have heart and you want to learn how to activate the power of your hustle, then this is the podcast for you, baby. For you, baby.
Congratulations.
And now, your hosts, Anthony and Janilka Hartzog.
This is how it should be done.
Welcome to another episode of the Hartzog Hustle Podcast. My name is Anthony, and I am joined here with my beautiful co-host Janilka, as always.
Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing?
And we have another special guest, Darnell Porter, amazing photographer, owns 2 spaces at this point. Man of God, we were just talking about, church a little bit. He got held up with church. Man of God, entrepreneur, husband, and appreciate you being here, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
sir,
you.
man. Appreciate y'all having me, really.
Yes, thank you for joining.
So before you were an amazing photographer, where were you at before you got to this point in your life?
Before photography?
Before photography. We want to go back, man. What got you into this space?
Way back. So definitely college days. So I went to UT down in Austin, and freshman year, I was on the track team. We was traveling a little bit, and so I was like, I just want a camera to capture the moments, things like that. Real, just friends as a hobby, nothing serious. And so I did that, and I think that senior year, somebody on the track team asked me to take like their grad photos, and I did that. It really turned out well. People slowly started to ask more and more, and believe it or not, I don't recommend it, but like I did that whole 6 months, 7 months for free, just kind of working, trying to get my name out there. I felt like my work wasn't good enough to charge, and so, it kind of slowly grew from there. But before photography, it was just little boy from Dallas, Texas, just wanting to run track and.
Were you good at track?
Yeah, man, it was pretty decent. So in high school, we made it to regionals. It's crazy from high school, being one of the top people in the nation, things like that. And then going to college, these boys like really good. So we go to from the top to the middle, lower end. It's like, whoa, it's like a little, it kind of hit me and all that. So I ran the first 3 years, and then that last year I was like, you know what, I'm not getting faster, these boys are still getting faster, let me focus on something else. And that's kind of really toned in on photography.
Are you from Dallas, Texas?
Yeah,
originally from Dallas.
Exactly. Grew up in Arlington, but yeah, I grew up in Arlington.
Okay. So you're the guy, you was running track, you were in high school at that point.
Yes, sir.
And you had the camera. So people were just asking you like, yo, take my picture, and you were just doing it for fun.
For free, because I'm like,
as a hobby.
As a hobby, that's what it was. I'm just like trying to get better. I'm like, I'm definitely not going to charge. I feel like my work's not good. And so just doing it for fun, man. Just going out, random parks, nothing in the studio, just random parks, random places outside, and just taking photos, sending it to them, just trying to, figure out the camera, really.
So after 7 months, then you said, I need to charge now? Did someone tell you should be charging, or what made you feel comfortable?
I think, it slowly started to get better, and I think it just more and more people asking me, so I'm like, it's taking more and more of my time. So I'm like, you know what? I need to start charging. So I just started, little $50, $75 here from there. Kind of
That's not what it costs now.
No, it definitely
yesterday's price.
Right, not today's price. It definitely been a progression, but $50, $75 shoots from there. And super grateful, man.
How would you decide to charge them 50, 25, whatever it was at the time? You were just like, all right, I need.
But back then, how old are you at that time?
I'm a college student, man.
So $50 a shot is a lot of money.
That was a lot for me. I'm like, okay, I got groceries for the week and things like that. Yeah, I just think like whatever. Like I had no coach and all that. I was trying to YouTube some things, but I didn't know where to start or anything like this. I'm like, let me start. That's a good number for me. I can work with that, and we'll go from there.
And how did you get better at that point? Because you're doing it more often. People now you're starting to charge, so the expectations start to change a little bit, right?
Definitely. So I think what really helped is just when I really feel like, okay, I kind of like this. And so I'm the type, like when I want to move forward with something, I want to kind of be the best at it. And so like I knew I was serious when, like senior year, we supposed to be studying for midterms and things like that. But I'm in Photoshop trying to figure out how to, get better, how to edit my photos better, how to have better quality, how to market myself better. So I'm like, okay, I really must, I really have a passion for this. And so, I think a lot of YouTube University helped me. That's what that kind of really helped me in the beginning, man. Just
YouTube,
a lot of YouTube, and just really repetition, going out with the camera, and just this happens when I do this. This happens when I do this. This happens when I do this. And so, I think that's what it was. I took one lighting class my senior year, but that's about it in just terms of actual teaching that way. Other than that, it's just been YouTube and just experience. Man. Trial and error.
That's crazy because I used to do Photoshop back in high school and it was really hard, man. YouTube teaches you so much, but you got to have the patience to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that same type of patience goes into photography as well.
Right. No, so you do have to be patient. It's just always like a learning process as well. Photoshop can be very tedious. So just in there, just editing the skin how you want to, removing things out the background. So it definitely does take time. It all comes down to how passionate about it are you? You know, do you really want it? Do you really want to get better? And so, really passionate, you'll take that time to study it and learn it and things like that. And it'll just become easier as it goes. It won't stay difficult the whole time. It'll become easier as you're in Photoshop more.
So you're in go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I don't think people realize it. They think about it's just you taking a picture, right? But I know that on the other side, the editing usually is the time part, not the pictures. The pictures would be like, okay, it's an hour, but then the editing is where it's at.
Multiple hours and all. There's a lot more to it, man.
Yeah.
Just even pre-shoot, just the emails, the setting up the lighting correctly, the getting your settings right. And then you go to the whole editing process as well, and then it's just gonna be a lot. There's a lot more to it than just pushing the button.
I mean, obviously, because you're killing the game out here. So you get to college, you're like, all right, I'm not gonna focus on track anymore. I got this camera. I'm starting to make some money.
Yes.
All right, now when do you say, all right, I'm taking this seriously. I'm starting to make $25, $50. And you're like, all right, I'm good at this. Yeah. Now I'm gonna start taking this. I'm gonna be known as a photographer guy or the photographer for events and things like that.
Gotcha. That's a good question. That's like what turning point. A big thing for me, that can kind of help boost my self-esteem as well, is there's a Olympian by the name of Sonya Richards Ross. So
she's on Housewives of Atlanta now.
Oh, she okay? She is.
I realize that. I mean, when it airs, she's on it now. It's like an add-on. She's a new person. Yeah,
that's what's up. But yeah, so her and I think this is my either junior or senior year. And she just got a random call because she ran at UT. She was a UT track athlete as well, and so the coach kind of made that connection. So she called me, this random call one day. Hey, this is Sonya. I'm like, what, Sonya Richard? What you doing? And so she said she is doing some like promo material, needs some new branding images. You know, will I be available to shoot them? And I was like, super nervous at that time. I'm like, man, I'm still feel like I'm in the learning stages. You're this big Olympian, a team, but you know what? I came back when I'm not scared. Let's do it. And so we did. I bought like all this new lighting equipment.
You went out just spending all your money.
I rented like this most expensive lens. I did and just went all out for it. But like I said, they turned out really well. I was actually surprised, but turned out well. And that kind of led to like just in that greater Austin area, kind of led a series of more bookings and things like that. And I'm like, okay, now I can start charging a little bit more and more. So now I was at 50, 75 in college. So this is like senior year. Now we're probably at the 150, 200 range.
Yeah. Okay.
trying to slowly work away. 150, 200 range. For me, that was a lot.
So you had your college coach connect you with her because both of you guys ran track?
Correct. That's what
and he knew that you took pictures?
Exactly.
Networking.
Power network, right. Exactly.
So you take those pictures and you're like, all right, now I'm getting better. I'm good. I can charge more. You got this expensive, fancy equipment. And obviously, you got to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
So you leave college. Where are you at with that point with photography? Or jobs or whatever it may be?
Got you. So senior year. So when I graduated,
what'd you go to college for?
The physical. That's the degree is physical culture and sports. To this day, I still don't know what that is.
I was gonna say
physical culture and sports.
That's what it's called. And to be honest, they know what they do. They kind of push and kind of shove athletes towards that way because it's like the less demanding schedule, so don't interfere with practice. Things
so you
like
focus
that.
on track.
Got it.
Exactly. And so at the time, I'm like, okay, this is cool. But well, my minor was in radio, TV, film, and that's kind of here in
I can see that.
The media side. But yeah, I think I want to go in. I initially going to college, wanted to be on the business side of sports.
Okay.
That's what I really liked, and so I started like the media side of things as well. But so that's what I went to school for, and then you asked, I'm sorry, graduated. And so when I graduated, I worked for a news station in Austin. I was their video editor, and so man, it was the overnight shift. So that was going into work at 11 a.m. and getting at 2 a.m. and getting off at 11 a.m. That was a struggle, but I did that for about a year. And I liked the job, man. I was just editing videos, putting together what you see on the news and different stories and all that. I knew a lot what was going on in the world, but I think after a year, I was like, you know what? Like, cause I was doing photography on the side a little bit, and I was like, the money that I'm making on the side with photography is still equaling, the amount of this job. So I'm just like, you know what would happen if I just took that leap of faith and went to photography full time? How much better I could be at it without this job in the way. And then I was 20. I'm trying to think 22 22, maybe 23 at the time. You know, no wife, no kids, no like things holding me down to the job. So I'm like, you know what, let's just go for it. If it doesn't work out, I'll get another job.
Now, is that around the time, because you always post this one picture that you always have with like your hat back and like
which one it is?
Saggy jeans and hat back.
Okay. I think I do.
You always post this one.
Or no?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
You look like you're in a music video. So, is that around? When was that picture taken?
It was probably.
Is that before college?
Maybe a year or two before, man. That's probably during college.
That's probably during college. Okay. Because you post that like every once in a while. I don't know if that's like to remind you where you came from,
that's
or
what it is, and to show others as well. Like it doesn't matter where you came from. Like you
can find out where you are.
Exactly. So I'm probably find the exact picture, but I'm thinking it's probably sophomore, junior year of college.
Okay.
Did you have like a rough upbringing in your opinion, or?
The thing is, I feel like my upbringing was actually very well. Unfortunately, both parents very supportive. Middle class, so their upbringing was well. I think I got to college just out on my own and trying to fit in with different things, man. Trying to find my way just in my own head, and so yeah, I think my upbringing was well. But once I really like a whole story behind that. Well, I don't know if you want to dive deep into
this is the point of it. We need to understand who you were to know where you are today.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. We can start. Let me see how to start there, man. So yeah, it was in Austin, and so like I said, this was probably 2016 when I was doing photography full time, and so things were getting a little bit more consistent at this point. But me, I think my mindset, I was just so young mindset, and so like I was just living for today. So I make the money at the shoot, and then that night just go party and clubs and things like that, doing a lot of excessive traveling and things like that. And so to me, I'm like, it's gonna be fine. The money's gonna keep coming in, not realizing the importance of saving and just thinking about the future or anything like that.
Right.
And so I wasn't living right, man. To be honest with y'all, I was not living right. Like I'm talking about, I had like a girlfriend at the time, and entertaining other women. Like saying like not honoring commitments I had with the church, and I'll be here, for the help at the media ministry, but party too much the night before and not being there.
Over himself, yeah.
A lot of different things, and God was just like giving me, hey man, you got to turn back, you got to turn around. He's giving me little warnings, and so I'm my hard headed self just keep going in that direction. So it's not until he started, affecting my bank account, my family. I had like a couple of scares on my life, like drunk driving situations, almost drowning, things like that, and so. I think after the time I almost drowned, I'm like, okay, God, I get it. Like, I can't keep going down this path. I'm going to end up killing myself. And so that's when, and at the time, a lot of people don't know this. Like, I just partnered with two other people, and we had a brand new studio in Austin, 4,000 square foot space. It was a nice.
Oh, Austin, 4,000. Wow.
It was a nice spot, man. But like I said, the party, and I was with the wrong people at the time because they had it was like the party spot. Of course, we did photo shoots during the day, but at night, people coming over, drinking, smoking, and all that. It wasn't professional at all. And at first, it was cool, but I'm like, it just wasn't sitting right with my spirit. So I'm like, you know what, God, I'm gonna put all this to the side, and I'm going to move back, and I'm from Arlington, so I moved back home and just kind of really get my mind right and kind of start over really. And so I did that like the summer of 2017, and so from there, once I got connected to the church. Really got connected with God, had him transform my mind and things like that. That's when I started to see a shift in my business as well.
That's crazy, man.
So you had to leave Austin to kind of see that direction.
Yeah, I told myself I had to divorce myself from the hype because Austin, where I was known as the photographer. Money was coming in, clients were just like that, just open the studio.
It was all, yeah.
People were like, why are you leaving? This is where it's at. You're hot out here and stuff like that. But they didn't understand it's like a mindset. It may seem good on the outside, everything was going well, but then here in the heart and in the mind, I was struggling, man. I was struggling on the inside for real.
I appreciate you sharing that, man. Do you know if they still got that event space out there? Or
that spot? To be honest, I believe they do. I don't have connections with the guy anymore, but yeah, so I can't say 100% sure, but I believe they do, man.
I mean, sometimes it's best when you leave while you're still hot, because at that point you know you could do it again.
Yeah.
If you would have left while you was on rock bottom, it's like I've never experienced that before. How would I know what it feels like? So if you leave while you're the best, you're at the top, people know you. Now you still can leave with your dignity.
True.
So you leaving, you're like, all right, I gotta get my life back in order. So now you're more connected to God. What does that mean to you as a person? Does that mean like you going to church more? You getting more spiritual? Like what's your spirituality or faith?
One, yeah, I'm definitely getting involved in the church more, serving more. That helps a lot. But then also, when I was working full time for that year, when I was focusing on photography full time that year in Austin, I again still being young minded, like. You see, a lot of my work now is more of the, branding shoots, entrepreneurs, things like that. Before, back then, I was known as starting known as the urban photographer. So you'll see a lot of nudity, a lot of, the dancers and strippers. I'm not saying
the club stuff,
the club things like that, which wasn't good for my mind at age.
The stuff you see on like the flyers for
like
club
back
promotions.
in the day. Post for the picture.
Yeah, put it on the flyer.
Right. And I was like contracted by a few strip clubs. Hey, we have 60 dancers that need photos by this day. We'll pay you this much for a dance and all that. So the money was like good at the time, but like I said, it wasn't good for my mind. So I said, God. So it was like me saying, God, I'm no longer going to shoot that type of material because it's not good for my mind, not good for my heart. I'm just going to trust you, just to do this like the more presentable, more professional way and things like that. And so it was scary just because that's what I was used to. That's how I know I was making my money. But I'm like, God, I trust you. I trust you. We'll do this the right way. And slowly but surely. And the crazy part is, if I gotta leave that part out, I moved back here and I was ready to give up on photography because I was like, I'm not doing this the right way. I let everybody down, let family down, let my girl at the time down, let myself down. So I was ready to just put away the camera. I remember I was getting a job at Enterprise and went through the interview process. One of my homeboys told me about the job. Went through the interview process and all that. Like if you make it to the third interview, you're good. It's a given. It's like a welcome on. So first interview went well, second interview went well, third interview, I'm like, okay, I got the job. About to be making some money now. And so I did the third interview. Everything went well, but then like a week later, didn't hear anything from them. I called back and they were like, you know what, we went another direction. So I was like, weird. I was reading up on it. They said, yeah, after the third interview, you should be good. And so I'm just like, maybe God's saying, you know what, don't go get a job. Still do photography. You're just going to do it the right way this time. So he's like blocking that job. It's like, you know what? Okay, God, I trust you. I'm going to go with photography. Do it your way. Do it the right way. Put you first because I was putting myself first, man. My head was big. I thought it was all me, man. And so once I started doing it that way, I think that's when I really started to see the shift in my business.
So you was a full-time entrepreneur. Do you were thinking about going back to that 9 to 5? A lot of people don't talk about that.
Yeah, I think about going back because and the thing is, it's crazy part of it was going well. Like I said, I wasn't like struggling financially with the full-time job. It was just a mindset thing in my own head. The really devil telling me like, you don't deserve this, you can't do this. Like, so I was ready to go back to it, knowing the freedom that entrepreneurship presents. I was ready to go back to just that 9 to 5, just because I really given up. I've given up really.
Wow.
Yeah, that is a lot, journey.
Man. That is a lot.
Which brings you to where you are now, but now you're flourishing.
Yeah, man.
Everything.
God's been showing out. Like I said, that God's been showing out.
So you're like, all right, I'm not going to Enterprise. They turned me down. God is sitting there like, all right, you finally gonna listen to me.
Right.
You pick the camera back up. Around what year is that?
Probably end of 2017, early 2018. That's where we're at right now.
So you start changing your marketing, you start changing your brand. Like, what does a new D Porter look like?
Yeah.
So it's none of that. Like I said, because I was in Austin, I was starting to become known as the urban photographer. So I'm not gonna do any of that material. No, I'm not gonna post that material. Not advertise myself in that light anymore. So let me focus on more families, more business owners, of course, grad shoots, things like that. Just work that I'm proud of. If I'm like show somebody like a business card,
they go to your website,
and stuff like that. Not like, okay, he has kind of all these, stuff on
people
definitely gonna have a perception
exactly
based off of that.
Exactly, and so that's what it looked like. And so once I started posting more about that, I can start seeing a shift in my clientele too as well.
Do you have a favorite style of shooting? Like a favorite style at this point, like portrait, street, weddings, or
probably studio portraits? That's probably number one.
That's it. Okay.
I love working with entrepreneurs, and then so I'll say studio work, and then also weddings probably come close.
Studios and weddings. Yeah.
And where do you get, like you mentioned, the radio background? Do you feel like that plays into your personality when you're doing these shoots? Because when we did a shoot with you, like we said, we never like felt that type of energy. Like you came in there, you were hype, you were ready to go. You got
music.
And we've done dozens and dozens of photo shoots.
We've done it.
But the energy that you brought to that photo shoot, we never felt it before. So where does that? Is that like your personality? Where does that come from?
I think it comes from. I'm just really thinking, man. A lot of YouTube, and I had a mentor, man. I can't remember his name. He doesn't even live here, but he was just kind of telling you, photography, at the end of the day, there's so many dope photographers out here in the city and things like that. But what separates you is like the experience, right? Everybody you can go, for the most part, you can go anywhere and get some good photos. If you pay, quality price, you can get some great photos. But it's like the experience is what keeps me coming back. So I'm like, let me really focus on the client experience and making you feel, calm, welcome, the energy and stuff like that. Because a lot of people, I don't know how y'all are, but a lot of people are kind of like nervous about taking pictures. They're kind of
that's
shy.
True.
Like
Still,
it can be nerve-wracking getting in front of the camera. And so I just want to try to make you feel calm and just relax and let's have a good time and just it really shows once you're relaxed, calm, having a good time. It shows in the photos as well, the energy and stuff like that. So I really wanted to kind of focus on my client experience and making that a memorable thing, because not only does it make the shoot better as well, it allows you to tell your friends about me. Okay, I did a shoot with Porter. Things went well, man. You should check them out and stuff like that. And word of mouth, I learned is very, very real. And so,
is that where most of your clients come from at this point? Word of mouth?
Honestly, I'm probably over 50%. Yeah, word of mouth. I always like to ask how you hear about my work. And so one is just social media, or two, just I heard about you from my friend so and so, my friend so and so. So
Got
word
it.
of mouth is real.
And right now, how many clients do you take on right now during the week, usually on average?
So I probably, let me see, if I'm working 4 days during the week, I take on 3. So
You only work 4 days?
4 days.
Okay.
I'm trying
Because I was like, it seemed like you work more.
Man, that work-life balance, man. I'm trying to find work-life balance.
Uh-huh.
Is what it is. But no, I think it's how I work. Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Okay.
And so I think, and I try to max it at 3 shoots a day. I used to just be like, if you want to book,
just go.
Just go for it. Any day of the week, no off days, just grind. But as you start to, I think, and y'all can testify as this, as you start to come across a little bit of money, you realize that it's more so, money's not everything. It's like the freedom to do what you want, and that
freedom.
And that,
we always talk
time
about that
and stuff like that. Spend with your family or go on vacation, things like that you want to do. And so, let me stop overloading, just having work. But then you have all this work and money, but you don't have no family
balance,
life, no balance, things like that. So, anyways, back to your question. I'm sorry. Let me see. I say about 12 a week, probably on the high end. 12 a week.
Okay.
So I max out my shoots at 3 a day. I don't do
3 a day. No more than that.
Because then at that point, my energy starts to go down, and it'll start affecting the experience and stuff like that as well.
No, we definitely felt it. Like, you brought the music, and it makes you think about photography in a lot less serious. Like, you standing there, you're doing a pose, or you standing there, and you're like, nah, lighten up, loosen up, like, show me your personality.
Get some personality shots too as well.
That's good, man. Like I said, we really enjoyed it. So you mentioned that work-life balance. So how are you kind of, you mentioned you only work 4 days a week, but how does your wife, your spouse play into that as well?
Yeah, man.
Making sure you stay grounded with that too.
And she's been very helpful and understanding. I'm still working on that, to be honest, man. Because I think there's no perfect balance. I'm still working on it, because at heart, I like to grind. I like to go after it, man. I'm a workaholic, man. And so she'll let me know at times, like, okay, Darn, you need to, because the thing is, like I said, I'll do the shoot, but I want to come home and relax. But then photos need to be edited and stuff like that. So she's been getting on to me and help me do better at, when you come home, you can just actually relax, or just maybe set a different time for editing and things like that. And so things that really help me is like I said, just having those off days. I say, okay, I'm just gonna commit this to you. And the kids. A lot of people don't know I'm a stepfather of 3.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she has 3 kids. I'm a stepfather of 3, and so just making sure that they get that time as well. I don't want it to seem like I'm just only focused on work, where they don't get that time. So it can be anything. It's just crawled up in the bed, watching a series on Netflix, going out, get some lunch, just talking. As long as I'm just devoting that undivided attention time to her.
So those 3 days that you don't work, you don't do any work? Because we're gonna be new parents soon, so I'm gonna need some advice. We're gonna need some advice on how do you. Is it no work those days at all?
That's the thing. That's what it.
That's the thing. That's what he's trying to work on.
Okay.
Because you still gotta edit. Because if you're not shooting, you're still editing, right?
And so I can't say no. So there are maybe like emails. One day is gonna be like no work at all. I'm going to the gym, relaxing all that. But there's another off day, I will get some, editing. I'll do my best. Editing is crazy, like late at night. Like, so if she'll go to sleep early, 9 or 10, I'm probably up from like 10:30 to 2. Okay. Just editing and things like that. But I don't mind that. It's like a peaceful time for me. Got my music in my ear, just editing, and then go to bed. So I try to do it like when she sleeps, so it's kind of still not taking time.
Interrupting.
In a sense, yeah. And that's why I feel like I'm doing my best work like late at night. So I'm still working on that work life balance.
No, we all are. I know, you get in this entrepreneurship lane, you're trying to figure out, all right, I want to continue to make money, but also I'm using that money to spend more time with my family. That's the whole point of having this freedom.
Right.
Exactly.
And you want to be in that vicious cycle. So we went from, I know that we last stopped at, when it comes to pricing with college, at like 150, 200. Yeah. So how do you price yourself now? Like, how do you figure out how much to charge? Does your equipment play a part in that?
So
or
any new photographers looking at this video or listening to the conversation, like, how do I know how to price my services when I feel like,
man, it all is. I mean, I'm trying to think where to start with this because
Let me actually give you a backstory because we had a photographer, someone local, and it was obvious he didn't know how to charge. He reached out to us and he was like, "Listen, we got time. If you come to the area, we'll do the shoot."
Okay.
And it was obvious he was new and he didn't know how to charge. He just wanted to get his name out there.
right.
So for somebody like him who's sitting there trying to figure out, all right, I want to put myself out there more. How do I charge based on this or that?
Okay, that's good. It's really like doing a lot of research as well, man. Just photographers in your area. What you're trying to. I think just doing research, man. Going to other photographers' websites, even if you have friends in the industry, just kind of asking them, hey, kind of what are your rates around and things like that. And
But he can't charge what you charge though, or can he, or she?
They work their way up, right? Like you said, you work your way up.
It's a process, man. It's really a process to work your way up, man. And it's like you base it off of, I guess, because your financial goals. I have a friend, man. He says he wants to keep it at like his like affordable rates and all that because he just does photography on the side or something like that. So I guess it really just depends on the photographer and your financial goals. But my pricing, I knew kind of how much I wanted to make a year, and so I just kind of broke it down with how much that needs to be making a month, things like that. And then so I kind of like work backwards that way. And so if I need to make this much a month, and I'm doing this many shoots a month, I need to be charging this much and stuff, and did it like that.
Okay, that makes sense.
But a lot of it is still figuring out, man, and just kind of like. I remember when I went from the 200 price range a little higher, I was nervous as hell. I'll be honest with you, because I think for me, when I was first starting off, I was basing my pricing off of like my own financial situation, right? So as a college student just coming out of college, didn't have really a lot of money, and so I'm like, nobody's gonna pay over $200 for a shoot because I knew I wanted. So I'm like, nobody's gonna pay that, but I had to realize that
photography is expensive.
It can be. It can
the amount of money we spent. Well, we had got married in New York, but the amount of money we spend on like photography and a wedding, it's just like
y'all be 10xing though. We'll get to that. Continue.
We'll get to that. 'Cause I pay for a wedding myself too, man. But no, man. What was I saying? I had. Let me see.
You were talking about just charging, like when you didn't think anybody was going to want to pay you over $250 because you wouldn't.
And I had to realize that there's like these organizations and people out there that their disposable income is a lot higher than mine as well. And so I think what really helped me with that is another story. It's crazy. The same Sonya Richard, not same Sonya Richard story, but with her, we did a shoot like. I think we did a shoot maybe like 6-8 months ago, like this when I was in college. And so our magazine reached out and was just like, hey. We saw the shoot you did with her. We love the images. How much to use it in our magazine to kind of promote?
You had no idea?
Nope, no idea. I was
What's it called again? Not copyright. It's called usage.
Yeah, I think usage just to kind of use the photos. And I had no idea. I'm like, I never been asked this before. I was trying to Google things online.
How much to charge?
And so I'm just like, okay, let me just start a number. I said $375. That's our number. And so $375, you can use the images, and we'll go from there. They said, okay, cool. So for them, they said $375, or they understood it as $375 per image. 5 images, and so
you were just giving them $375 as a package.
Everything. So they, $375 per image. They use 5 images. They said, okay, we'll cut the check and stuff like that. And I was just like, wow. So I'm sitting here thinking, this was a good number, and it just showed me, it just changed my mindset. Like, okay, some of these organizations, some of these people just have like disposable income is just a lot more than mine, and so I want to go after like those clients and stuff like that as well.
So instead of charging based on how much you have, you're charging based on what their expectations, what they're expecting, what they want.
Right, and it's just really when you really start to understand your worth and what you bring to the table as well. And like you said, the experience, the time it takes you to do so as well. And so it's still, like I said, I probably past maybe a couple of years, I've been kind of increasing prices maybe every 6 months, every 5 to 6 months, and it'd be like $25, $30 here and there, but it's still scary every time because you don't want to be like overprice yourself out the market and things like that. You don't want to do that. So each time I've done it, like I said, God's been showing out. It still been getting me like the clientele I've been wanting, and things been going really well.
And if you don't mind, how much did you charge her for those photos?
Sonya?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Was it free?
No, it wasn't free, but it was still like.
Did you just like Google it or what?
I think I was like that. It was like 200, 250. 250 to be honest with you.
How long does a photo shoot like that normally take?
That one was all day.
Yeah, now that one with Sonya, that particular one, it was just, she needed just some like an updated shots for things. That took maybe an hour and a half.
Okay.
The park and all that.
Okay.
That one like a big production.
Okay. I'm thinking like Nike shoots and they there all day and stuff like that.
Because sometimes they are. Those are long.
Yeah, there are some all day shoots and all that. But and that's when you kind of start getting to like hourly and day rates and stuff like that. But yeah,
for her it wasn't.
That was a simple project. Just went to a park, just wanted some updated. I think it was just updated image for her family. She went just some casual images for social media.
So have you done photos for her again after that, or?
Yeah, we work. And this one I'm gonna live in Austin. It's been probably a couple years since we last worked, or maybe she came up to Dallas for like an event. But it's been 2 or 3 years.
Okay. And do you find that your clients usually come back?
I do. It's like, it's crazy. They start becoming like family. Like I start just shooting them. Like maybe it can be an engagement shoot, and you know,
the marriage,
to the marriage, and the baby, as well, parties. And so I do have some clients like that where I feel like I'm just going through life with them. I actually love that, man. I love that.
And you shot my birthday, right?
Yeah, you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know. It was a good time, man. I guess you can bring up some of the pictures.
I heard it was a good time.
I heard.
It was a good time.
But he definitely, took pictures and video.
It was a good time.
And video.
Those pictures did look good.
Nah.
So yeah, you do both actually. We haven't even touched on video. So you do photography and video?
I do. And I think now I'm starting to focus just more on the photography. I have a guy kind of reach out to does a video as well. Just kind of make it easier. I'm big on like
because I remember when you told me you're gonna do both. I'm like, okay. I'm like, how you gonna balance both? Yeah, but sure,
I have the equipment for it and all that, but it's just on the workload. I think I have somebody else come through. But so I probably do photography 80% of the time, and then I get random video projects every now and then.
Okay.
And your preference is photography, obviously, right?
Definitely. Because I thought photography editing was hard.
Editing,
that's more tedious. That's when you get like the transitions.
Because you have like 7 hours. So you have like 7 hours of video, and now you got 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
I mean, you got to watch that 7 hours of footage.
Again, after being there for the time.
You're like, I'm tired of this event. Right. So. And then you get multiple edits. I'm thinking about it because we had somebody do our video, our baby shower in New York.
Okay.
And so he was there from, I think, like 6 to 11. And so he got to bring it down to 10 minutes.
Yeah, it can be a lot of footage.
It's like, you don't want a whole 6 hour video. You
exactly.
The highlights of it.
Exactly.
So what is like the biggest events you normally, so wedding is probably like the biggest events you do in terms of photography?
Yeah, weddings. So it's like all day things, 8 to 10 hours. So I say
that's a long time.
Do you enjoy weddings?
I actually enjoy it though, man. It's really, when I recently got married in 2020, that kind of just shifted my whole viewpoint of how I shoot weddings and my enjoyment for weddings as well. So I actually enjoy weddings. I think I would growing up, but I actually really enjoy weddings, man. Just the different emotions you get during the day. It's still, I mean, for the most part, I kind of know how the wedding's gonna flow. There's always challenges here and there, but I still love capturing weddings, man. It's a beautiful thing.
You didn't shoot your own wedding, did you? No. Or did you have the equipment there? Okay.
As much as I wanted, when I heard them prices, as much as I wanted.
Hello. He had a question yesterday. He's like, who shoots the photographer? Like, who takes your pictures? On the wedding.
People are like, you're going to have a tripod set up and stuff like that.
I was like, that's what I'm thinking about.
But I had I had a friend of mine that I knew who does really great work as well. And so we reached out to him and he took care of us.
Okay.
Man, I didn't realize how expensive weddings were until
photography in general.
Until we got married. I was like, wait, we just had a photo shoot. Why is the wedding so much more pricey than the
because the engagement photo shoot. Yeah. Then you got to get married the day of.
They 10x the flowers, they 10x the photography, they 10x the videos.
Everything. They need to know in advance what type of event is it. Is it a baby shower? Is it a graduation? Is it a wedding?
No, it's just a large gathering. That changes vows.
Exactly. That changes the price.
Large gathering, food, drinks, nothing.
Yeah. So how do you go about charging like for a wedding? Is it based on like the amount of people, the amount of time, or
it really is? It's a time thing at this point. For me, it's a time thing. So it's a funny story. Like I said, when I was in college, I think senior year, I got asked to do my first wedding. Again, I feel like I'm figuring this thing out. So I'm like, you trust me, shoot your big
exactly.
Biggest moment of someone's life,
right? And so I don't think I was a senior. I was like a sophomore, to be honest with you.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
Somebody wedding. I'm just like,
okay.
I'm so excited. So I'm like, I'll do it for $100. Because I didn't know what went into my first. I didn't know what went into it. I was just I'm like, I'll do it for $100.
Was it your first wedding you ever attended?
Ever attended?
I figured because a lot of people don't go to weddings like that.
Yeah. I'd never been a part of it. I was like, what? Like I was still doing like taking friends to the park and something like that. And so I said $100, and they was like,
did you have a suit at that time?
Nah, I don't know what I had. I had my best dress Sunday clothes.
Button down.
They were so excited. Like, why they said, okay, we'll pay everything up front right now. And I'm like, okay. But I'm like, when I was there for like the whole 8-9 hours, the amount of work I had to do before and after, I'm like, never again. So that was my very first wedding story. Again, I don't recommend it to any photographer.
Oh, that's way too low.
Please know your work.
Nothing even below 1,000. That's just
don't start doing weddings at least.
Right now, right. But no, I think I priced it just based off really the time. Because again, we're there for 8 to 10 hours. But then also it's the time afterwards.
Prep before, after.
Right, after. It's like for a normal shooting with y'all, I'll send you the raw images. You go through and select the ones you want. With weddings, I'm going through the images myself and editing and sending them to them. And so it can be 2,025 images, literally just sit there and go through and narrow down to your favorite 300 to 500 shots. And once you get it narrowed down, then editing those things and making sure they're nice and presentable. So it's really a lot of time on the back end, to be honest, with weddings. And so when I realize how much time goes into it, I'm like again, I agree, time is money. And so
that makes
that's
sense.
why, yeah.
And now, how do you continue to learn? Where do you still go to YouTube now, or how do you continue to grow? And
it's off of, man, there's a conference, man. I didn't go last year. It was called WPPI, Wedding Portraits, something. They're doing it in Vegas every year for photographers, wedding photographers. And so when I went there for the first year, like a year or two ago, I was like blown away. Just other photographers all around the nation, just kind of doing the same thing we're doing, but just hearing their insight, the way they run their business, the way they market themselves. They had different categories, and just sitting there and learning and listening to this thing, I'm like, okay, I'm just picking up like tips and tricks here and there. And so that kind of really helped me a lot, man. And just in terms of learning how to construct my business. And then from here, it's probably just the photographers I follow on Instagram. I have photographers I'm gonna look up to, respect their work and things like that. And that's probably I'm always a student of the craft, learning things. And so in terms of like business advice and things like that, I'm learning from them. And then still just lighting and stuff at shoots, I'm just every shoot's gonna be different. I mean, they have the same similarities, but every venue's gonna be different, things like that. So kind of learning, hey, when I'm in this environment, this works best. When I'm in this environment, this works best. Or hey, let me try this out in this environment. Let me try this workout and something like that. And so it's really just trying different things. I don't want to be honest. I don't want to get bored with my own work. I've been there before, and it's not good. Like, I feel like I can do it in my sleep. I think I need to challenge myself and do something more creative and things like that.
Got it. And in regards to you just mentioned learning. What about teaching? Because I noticed that you start to teach now.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't see you promoted that much though. I feel like it's like once 3 weeks.
Because that photographer, if they would have asked the question, I probably would have sent them over to you if I knew you taught.
Yeah.
So how'd you get into the teaching space? So when did you get into it too?
I think 2020 is probably right where it started. And it just went from everybody asking me, hey, you need to do a retouching course. You need to do this course. And so many people ask me, I'm like, one day. And as I was not praying to God, like, when should I do this? Because I'm like, I still I always feel like I'm learning, and I don't feel like I'm there yet to be teaching. Like who am I to teach y'all and things like that? And so I'm like, when God says it's time to go, it's time to go. So I finally heard from God. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go for it. And so I did. I think I put a class out there, and I got a lot of good feedback. And so those are like individual courses. And then so I'm like, now I have like a mentorship program. I don't advertise it as much because I think right now it's like 2 or 3 people in there as well. I don't want to like overload. It's like an intimate program. I really want to make sure you're getting what you need and stuff like that. So I won't advertise it as much, maybe in a couple months. But then also I realized just like it's a big time commitment as well, because now it's like I have time taken away from my family with the photo shoots, but then now I have to give time to them as well. And so it's when that balance comes in. I want to pick up too much at one time, but that teaching I'm just trying to teaching others, just kind of what I learned along the way, man. Just the stuff where I went wrong, pricing tips, how what works best for me in terms of landing more clients and things like that. Just kind of teaching them what I know, kind of my experiences.
Got it. We're always about just if you have a knowledge set, like you said, you didn't feel like you were ready to teach people, or you feel like you weren't in a space to teach people. Right. But if you could take someone from starting ground zero to where you are today, is it not worth it?
You're right. That's true. Yeah. No, it is. It's a rewarding feeling, man.
Yeah.
It is.
You just have to take them to where you are. You don't have to be like beyond that. I think some people think like you said, I'm not a Beyonce, but you could be Ashanti. Yeah. Right. You can bring me to here. She had a good run. No, you know what I mean? You can take it there, but I want to make sure that we touch on before we even wrap was that you have 2 venue spaces. You have 2 locations. Tell us about
we haven't been to the new one either. We
no. The new one is 6,000. What is that?
It's about 3,000.
3,000 square feet.
Nice little spot.
All right, so tell us about that. Like, what made you say like I'm gonna get a venue spot to shoot? Like,
and then a second one.
The first one came from I always knew that I wanted a studio to shoot out of and work out of my own. I had one, like I said, in Austin. Of course, when we were doing it the right way. I said, God, whenever it's time to do it here, I'm ready when you are. So I was just renting out in Dallas studios at the time, and with I was renting out these different studios, but I couldn't really control the environment in terms of like I get there sometimes and like we'd be double booked, so I'm just here with your
outside
client, waiting with my clients. There's another
damn.
shoot going on, or I go on, it's just absolutely filthy trash, confetti everywhere and stuff like that. I'm just like,
This ain't it.
even though it's not my fault, it's a reflection of me because I booked it. I think the final straw for me was I was with a client. I was with I forgot, she was a graduate or something like that, but then people were coming out, coming out trying to hit on her and stuff like that. She got really
uncomfortable.
They were rude and all that. And I was just like, you know what? I need to have my own space.
Yeah.
So I did start doing some research. Took me about a month or two. We found a spot, and I'm like, okay, I want this to be like a good professional spot, a clean spot, and things like that.
Right.
So that was the first one.
When'd you get that one?
2020, May 2020.
Okay. That was during the pandemic?
Yeah, during the pandemic.
Wait, hold on.
During the pandemic.
Yeah.
That is taking a huge risk.
Huge risk. It was. But
You can take photography 6 feet away. You don't have to stop. Did that slow down during the pandemic?
That's my best year, 2020.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's my best year, 2020.
People are home now. Now they're available.
Right. I think it was a huge shift and then wanting to go out and do it. I don't know, like be entrepreneurs and home. So a lot of brand issues during that time.
Yeah.
But it definitely was a huge risk. But man, I knew it was the right time. It was crazy just because I think I posted like the screenshot, like a pastor preached like a year before that day. He said like if you'll be obedient, trust God, a year from today, he'll blow your mind with something. And then so on that same exact day of the following year, that's when we got the keys to the place and all that. And I was just like, wow, God. I'm like, wow, God, you just showing out. So that's how I knew it was from him. I knew I'm like, we're gonna move forward with it. It still can be, some challenges maintaining it, just have my studio manager who helps me out there a lot, but just keeping it clean. People have questions, things like that. But it's been going well. And so fast forward, God was saying go on a new space. And I was just like, man, we still trying to get this other one together and things like that.
It's never all together though. That's the thing.
It's always going to be changing.
It's always going to be stuff that is like you want it to be perfect, and it's never really perfect, and that's okay. That's part of it.
Right. That's what I'm learning. Right. It's okay. It's like you trust God along the way, and He's gonna make a way. And so we opened the new one in November. I think November of 2021. Yeah, like really recent, 3 months ago. And I know with this space, we wanted to do photo shoots out of it as well, but make it more of like an event space and not just baby showers, little small gatherings, birthday parties, things like that. And so we opened that, put that out there, and just the inquiries and the feedback was just crazy received just on people who want to do events and pop-up shots and stuff like that. It's like every Saturday in February we have an event there, and so I'm like,
oh great,
I'm like, yeah, glory,
paying the rent,
God,
the
right.
great,
there it is, paying the rent. They said we're gonna be in that design district, and that rent's not there.
Oh yeah, I said that. I'm like, we're in a design district. Okay, if you're in Dallas, that's a pricey location.
It was scary. That's how I was talking to God. I'm like, God, this is a location.
It's all you.
But to testify though, now I think about it, came up, and so I was already thinking, I'm like on Tuesdays, God, we're gonna block off like the whole studio. Nobody can book. That's the time I just want to like dedicate to you. Just have like that off day. I may get in there and like do some like speaking, just talking about my testifying experience. I just want Tuesdays to be for you, God. I don't know how, but I said, we get this space. I want to give it back to you in that way because I don't want to go down that bad path I did before. And so, man, it's the glory to God. So a month later, we were contacted. We're a group in Dallas called Lit Bible Study, and so they said, you know what? We've been looking for a new space. We're getting tired of the space we're in now. We're looking for a new space to do our Bible studies. Usually we just kind of come in and pay a monthly rent, and we have our studies on Tuesdays. I'm like, wow.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
I'm like, God, you and so really, it's really just trusting God on the way, and He's just doing little things just to really provide, man. I'm just grateful for His provision. I'm just in a grateful season right now.
No,
that's amazing.
Man.
That's really good.
That is good. So where do you see yourself going now? So you got the two event spaces. You got the first one, the second one. You got the photography. Maybe moving back away from video a little bit. You got the family. What's next? What's the next step for your hustle?
Yeah, it's crazy. What's next? To be honest, I want to be shooting less, but still, making the same, if not more. I'm trying to work less, but make more. And so I'm figuring that out. And so, like I said, with the associates I'm working with now, because I have people that come in, they try to book me for a session, or either their budget is not, they have a different budget for the project, or I may not be available, and so that's when I, reach out to my associate photographers, and we kind of worked up a deal where, they still get paid for the shoot, I still get a cut and stuff like that.
Like a referral fee.
Yeah, exactly. And so still kind of probably focus on that a little bit more. So,
and do you see them eventually becoming like under you versus just like D Porter brand is now not just me; it's multiple people.
It's super scary, but I do see it in the future. Just because like you said, it's like the experience. You want them to have to keep that same experience. You don't want that your name to be brought down.
You feel like nobody could do it like you.
Yeah, right.
Everybody feels like that.
Yeah,
right. That's
no,
true.
all like service based. Like when it comes to hair, when it comes to nails, when it comes to all these things,
true.
it's like people just no. I booked this for you.
Yeah. Right,
you know what I mean? So it's hard to like separate and scale.
I gotta get that, like, you know, you go to Chick-fil-A, you get that same experience across the board. How can I duplicate that for? And it can be scary. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Okay.
It's really just kind of sit back and really just enjoying more time with family, just myself, man, enjoying the time. Kind of how, like, I mean, not to switch to, you know, the scope, but how y'all with the cleaning business as well. And I see y'all post about, you know, in Mexico and on the beach, still this much bookings. I'm like, that's nice, man, just to have that income coming in, passive income. Y'all living your life, doing your thing, and still knowing that y'all, you know, getting taken care of as well. So hey, I'm looking up to y'all too.
Speaking of cleaningbusinessuniversity.com, cleaningbusinessuniversity.com. If you want to start and scale a 6-figure cleaning business without cleaning houses, that link will be in the bio.
Yeah.
They
so
are killing the game.
being able to scale yourself essentially.
Right. That's what I think is what it is. Being able to scale myself.
So
That's what it is.
we see you blowing up on social media right now. That you know, there's tired of me playing
His sound is at a
Every time
million.
you post it, I love it.
Your video is at your video is at 1 million, but the sound is going up still. People using it. Yes.
Exactly.
So
yes.
you saw this. What gave you the idea around that? Like, explain what that is. Number one.
Oh, that's funny, man. Social media is funny. So, I mean, of course, I'm always making jokes. So people ask me all the time, just still, can you negotiate your rates? Can you discount it?
Yeah. We get the same thing.
Right. I'm like, you're going to get that no matter what level you're. You're going to get that all the time. And so I'm just trying to teach them, the photographers that are under me, like, it's okay. Because I used to be the photographer, be like, okay, we'll negotiate. Because I want to get the job so bad. But, like, you don't have to do that. And so, and it's the effort of, you know, stressing that. I try to do it in a
funny way.
A funny way. And so I'm making these little videos here and there. So for that one, I heard, of course, you know, the Jacquees national anthem, free. So I'm like, okay, I like how he did that. So what if I do? I don't work for free and all that. So I was in the bathroom, like my little phone, just voice recording. I don't work for, and I just kind of, you know, in video editing software, just kind of blended the sounds together.
Yeah.
Like, let me just make a video of it, just being silly, dancing and stuff like that.
You just never know with social media.
Yeah, I didn't never know. I didn't expect it to blow up like that. I just wanted to get a message out, have fun with it, but the feedback and some of the videos I've been watching,
We had, what was it? You had Shade Room up there. You had, did Jacquees, did he post it yet?
Not Jacquees, the
manager
who produced the song.
The
producer posted it and all that. He actually called me. He just
Oh,
called me.
really?
He's like, I'm going to make sure the song is you before I post it on my TikTok and stuff like
that.
that.
Oh, really? That was nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
You had the Black Ink Crew?
Black Ink Crew posted. Dana Chanel did. There's like a few people I can't mention, but I've just been laughing and rolling.
That's hilarious.
Every time I see it, I play it in the house. She's like, turn that off. Unless you're gonna use it, move on.
Right. You don't have to work for free, man.
Right.
And I'm all about, like, when I started, like, almost putting yourself in the doorstep of situations, like reaching out to Sonya. I think I might have reached out to her like the very first time and just saying, hey, I'm trying to get my name out there and something like that. So I'm big on like getting yourself in the door and stuff like that. But I like, you know, people coming to you just requesting you to do free work and all that. So it's like a little difference.
Right.
There.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate you being here, my brother.
Thank you for being here. So how can the people find you? Let them
wanna
know
book
where
you,
they want to. Yeah, how can they find you?
Associates, junior associates.
Book on the website, shotbydporter.com. All together, shotbydporter.com. And Instagram is just dporter, DEEE_Porter. Connect with me.
And we will have his information in the links as well.
Yes.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you're sharing, subscribing, writing a review, rating, all of the above. It helps us to keep going. But that's it.
Keep hustling, guys.
This has been an episode of the Hartzog Hustle Podcast. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite listening platform. And follow Anthony and Janilka on Instagram at The Hartrimony. That's TheHartrimony. Keep hustling, baby. Keep hustling, baby.
Get that money. Get that money.